The knock came at midnight, soft, uneven, almost apologetic. Daniel Cross, CEO of a billion-dollar logistics empire, stood frozen in his kitchen, the city lights of the high-rise blinking behind him. No one knocked on his door at midnight. Not friends, not employees, not family. He glanced at the security panel, then at the door camera. A little girl stood there barefoot, her pajama sleeves too long for her arms, her dark hair tangled as if sleep had been chased away by fear. She hugged herself and whispered something he couldn't hear. Daniel opened the door anyway. She looked up at him with eyes too old for her small face. "Can you fix our door?" she asked. Her voice shook. "Mommy's scared." For a second, Daniel forgot who he was, the press conferences, the boardrooms, the carefully built armor of success. He saw only a child standing alone in the hallway at midnight, asking a stranger for help. "Where's your mom?" he asked gently, kneeling to her height. "She's inside," the girl said, pointing down the hall. "The door won't lock. Someone tried to push it earlier. Mommy said to be quiet. But she's shaking." Daniel didn't hesitate. He grabbed his jacket, a small toolbox he kept from a life he barely remembered, and followed the girl to the apartment 2 doors down. The hallway felt colder with every step, the silence heavy. When the girl knocked, the door opened just a crack, a woman's eyes wide with fear. She froze when she saw Daniel. "I'm your neighbor," he said quickly, raising his hands. "Your daughter came to me. She said the door's broken." The woman's shoulders sagged with relief and embarrassment. "I'm sorry," she whispered. "I didn't know what else to do. I didn't want to bother anyone." "You didn't," Daniel said. "May I come in?" The apartment was small but neat, the kind of place someone worked hard to keep together. A thin couch, a chipped coffee table, framed drawings on the wall, stick figures holding hands under a sun with a smiling face. The girl climbed onto the couch, watching with wide eyes as Daniel examined the door. The lock was bent, the frame cracked where someone had kicked it. It wasn't safe. "Did you call the police?" Daniel asked softly. The woman shook her head. "It was probably just a drunk. Or someone trying doors. I didn't want trouble. My name's Maria." Daniel nodded. He worked quietly, reinforcing the frame, adjusting the lock as best he could. It wasn't perfect, but it would hold for the night. When he finished, he tested it twice, then looked at Maria. "It'll stay closed now." Tears slipped down her cheeks before she could stop them. "Thank you. I don't know how to." "Stay," the girl interrupted, hopping off the couch. "Mommy won't be scared if you stay." Maria flushed. "Sweetheart," Daniel surprised himself by saying, "I'll sit here for a bit. If that's okay." They sat. The clock ticked loudly. The girl, whose name was Lily, leaned against her mother, slowly relaxing as the minutes passed. Maria explained in broken pieces how she'd moved in 3 months ago after leaving a bad situation, how she worked nights cleaning offices, how she'd been trying to save for a safer place. Daniel listened, really listened, something he hadn't done in years without an agenda. Eventually, Lily's eyes drooped. Daniel stood. "I'll be right next door," he said. "If anything happens, knock. Anytime." The next morning, Daniel sent a message to his assistant canceling meetings. He hadn't slept. He couldn't stop thinking about the fear in Lily's voice. By noon, a professional repair crew arrived, quiet, efficient, discreet. They fixed the door properly, reinforced the frame, installed a security latch. Daniel watched from the hallway as Maria's mouth fell open. "I can't pay for this," she said, panic rising. "You don't have to," Daniel replied. "Consider it neighborly." Wordlessly, she hugged him, the kind of hug that comes from a place too deep for words. Daniel stiffened, then relaxed, surprised by how much he needed it. Days passed, then weeks. Daniel found excuses to be home more often. He ran into Maria in the hallway, carried groceries, fixed a leaky faucet. Lily waved every time she saw him, her smile brighter now. One evening, Daniel brought over a small wooden stool he'd made himself, something he hadn't done since his father taught him as a boy. Lily painted it yellow and declared it, Mr. Daniel's chair. Slowly, Maria's fear softened. She laughed more. She invited Daniel to stay for dinner, simple meals, warm and honest. He learned that Maria had once dreamed of becoming a nurse, that Lily loved stars, that fear could live quietly inside a home and still be chased away by kindness. But life doesn't let peace last without testing it. One night, Daniel came home to flashing lights. Police cars. Maria's door stood open, the frame splintered again. His chest tightened as he ran inside. Maria sat shaking on the couch, Lily clinging to her, sobbing. It was him, Maria whispered. My ex. He found us. Rage surged through Daniel. Hot, focused, dangerous. He forced himself to breathe. The police assured them the man was in custody. A restraining order would follow. But Daniel knew that paper didn't erase fear. That night, Daniel made a decision that would change all of their lives. He offered Maria and Lily his guest room, temporarily, he said. Just until things settled. Maria resisted, pride and fear battling in her eyes. Lily settled it by grabbing Daniel's hand. Please. They moved in quietly. Daniel's penthouse, once echoing and cold, filled with life. Toys appeared. Laughter bounced off the walls. Maria cooked. Lily drew pictures of the three of them under a smiling sun. Daniel used his resources carefully, respectfully. He helped Maria enroll in night classes, arranged childcare during her shifts, never once making her feel small. He didn't rescue her, he stood beside her. When Maria graduated and landed a hospital job, she cried into Daniel's shoulder. You didn't have to do any of this, she said. I know, he replied. I wanted to. Months later, Daniel sat in the same kitchen where he'd first heard that midnight knock. Lily burst in, waving a drawing. Mr. Daniel, look, it's our door. The drawing showed a strong door, bright and unbroken, with a lock shining like a star. 3 figures stood behind it, safe. Daniel felt something inside him finally settle. He had built companies, moved markets, changed numbers on screens. But the night a little girl asked him to fix a door because her mommy was scared, that was the night he remembered what real strength was for. Sometimes, the most powerful thing you can do isn't opening doors to success. It's showing up when someone knocks, afraid, in the middle of the night, and choosing to stay.